We're going to do a masterpiece for you today. I'm going to give it a rating of a 10. Actually, this was what my wife gave me. She calls me a 10. I tend to squeeze the toothpaste wrong. I intend to mow the lawn. I tend to forget to pick up the groceries. Anyway, do you ever do that? Maybe you're a 10. Let's go ahead and we're going to paint our 10 where all the elements come together at the right time in the right place. I'll show you the paint that we're going to use, and then we'll go to the brushes. This is using, again, tinted magic white. I want to show you this being done. There's the white, the magic white, and the green, blue, 1/2 black, 1/2 yellow. Now, when I did that, I put that into white, regular white. This is what it looks like in regular white. And then to make it our TMW, which is tinted magic white, we put the two together and you mix it and you can see how it retains its vitality, its richness, and that's where we can put it on and we can work wet onto wet with having very little paint on the canvas, but it's got the value. It's dark enough and rich enough still, even though thinned out with the white. Over here we have the watercolor, which is the same thing as we put in the sky, but we don't have any white in it at all. Coming down to the cloud color, we have blue and white, and I added a little bit of red. And we'll use some of this. We might have to add just a little more black for the mountain, for the edge of the mountain. Foam is the same color, the blue and white with a little red, but it has more white. Then I have black and orange for the rocks, also on the shore, and then the highlights for the rock, and I don't think I have any on the shore, but on the rocks we have white added into some of the black and orange. Here we have left over where there used to be some orange. We're coming along here. See, this is a tour. You are here. Okay, let's go over here. Yellow, ochre, and white. We'll use this for the highlight on the foam, and possibly a little mixture for on the cliffs too. I need to jump over here for black and green, black and phthalo green equal parts for the little trees that will be on the rocks on the lower right. And we have a little extra white and a little extra ochre. Oh, we didn't have any ochre up there. So this is white with a little ochre, and then we add some of the black green to it. That'd be for the lights on the trees. And I have yellow, ochre, and white, a little darker to be up in the cloud area. We have red and white with a little ochre. That'll also be up in the sky. And then a little bit yellow and white for the sun itself, okay? The brushes, I'll set this down. I was mixing with, putting the paint on with a 1-inch brush. And then we have the knife, we have a blender brush, we have a mop brush, flat sable, smaller flat sable, fan brush, small round brush, then our twiggy brush, which is so good for the little foam patterns and some of the little branches on the tree. We'll go up to this, to canvas, and let's take some paint with. I've already put on my tinted magic white. See, that's the black, that's the green, the blue, 1/2 black, 1/2 yellow, put into white. Okay, I have enough of that on, so then I need to come to the cloud color, which is blue and white with a little bit of red in it. Blue and white with a little red. Push this around, and you can see the canvas. Let me show you right over here. This is chrome oxide green and white. Acrylic, dry. See? Oops, how did you get yellow? Chrome oxide green and white, dry. And the color I put on top, the tinted magic white, is very close in value. But it's very thinly put on, so we can get the wet on wet, but it's about the same as what was there. Okay, here comes the cloud color. Push this around. I'm using the blender, a big 1-inch brush. Push up, protect the corners slightly. Wipe off, because I now get the feeling that I don't have to put too much paint on, and it'll still show up as it should. Let's come down across here. This almost touches into the cliffs. Come across. I had a little line there, but I think that's only to be a help where the sun's going to go. That doesn't feel completely right. Just a little low there. So just a little bit of a mistake by somebody. I don't know who was in here before me. Well, it wasn't one of you out there, was it? It's amazing how you can help a person paint. Just knowing you're there, I try to do better. I try to do the best I can. Okay, let's go. Put this up, and you kind of go along with a little character. I'm going to have this. He's just coming down here, and then here's a fellow rising up, looking over. You can just feel him. He's ready to say, I'll charge you. charge you $20. Okay, let's see. So you got a little character over here, this one with his fists up. Look for people in the sky. We need to have a faint bit of this over in this corner. We want to have it a little bit different than the other one in size and shape, but it also protects the corners. I'll put a little bit down at this area, and then I'll come back with a blender brush. The bunny brush, that's dry and clean, and we'll come up to that. Isn't that a pretty brush? Just looking at that brush, you think, gee, you look so good. I hope you do what you're supposed to, and then you're an absolute 10. You're a 10. It does what it should. It does the blending very well, and I like that sort of long handle. It gives you a feeling of grace as you're putting that on. Okay, blend around in that area. We'll stay up in the sky till we have at least some of the lights put on. I'll clean the two brushes in a turp, odorless turp, thank goodness. Odorless cleaner. When you say odorless turp, it could be any odorless cleaner that's going to be, where you can kind of be in the room and yet you don't know that that's there. What do we want? We want to have, let's take the blender, the bunny brush again. Let's come, this is a cloud color for the lights. This is red and white with a little yellow, no, it's red and white with a little yellow in it. And we'll push this right on the edge like that. See the prettiness of that? It looks so good against the blue, but it also looks great against the sort of the greenish color that you have out in the sky area. Blend around. You push up a little bit past. I'll come back and blend this in just a minute. I'm still just placing it on. Come very close to it, and at the same time, leave a little space. When I put my lightest light on, it goes on top of the relatively dry canvas. It will show more vitality than mixing too much into the new colors as we put them on. I'll dip in and get the same thing, strong at the horizon. And notice I'll go right down below the horizon a little bit. That'll be nice. So when we put the water in, then you feel like the sun's really gleaming across on the horizon. We'll take some of this and go up into this cloud a little bit. So you can have where you have little clouds almost within, and it pushes the big one back further. Take the same color, same brush, and go up to the top, right up in here. And let's see, where else? Over in here a little bit. Once you have these on, then you sort of decide, well, this one's about as bright as this. I know this is going to be brighter by putting a highlight on, but even so, let's go ahead and soften these just a little bit more before we put the lighter light on. Make them relatively important, but some are more important than the others. And isn't it something, even that's something that's standing off on the side, it's very important in what it does. So it's that same way in life. There may be somebody else getting more praise, but what a part you play in what you do. It's a total effort. Say with a painting. I don't know who built the canvas. We don't show a picture of him or the framer, but those people are all important. We couldn't do it without anybody. So you're very important in what you do. Okay, we soften this, and this is what we're saying, making this in the right place, the right shape, but then determine how sharp you want it to appear. How sharply, I think, would be the correct way to say. Okay, right in there, right in here. It might be easier to go ahead with the rest of the painting before we put the lightest lights on there. And let's do that by coming over into the mountains. I'll take the sable brush. This is the same thing we put on the clouds, but we'll now take a sable brush, and I'm using it pretty dry-like. Push into here. I have a feeling that this comes down, yes, just a little bit past the splash up of the wave, so we get a little bit of a foil against that. What I'm saying is we'll have dark against the light that hits up there. This comes up, I have lines along there, but they're only position. Now I put a little character on. That is quite easy to do. If you figure like you're looking at somebody, this is the forehead, here's an eye, here's a big cheekbone, and part of the jaw. See, that's almost a profile. But if you have that in mind, then you're apt to make the nose a little different than the chin in that. Therefore, you get variety as you put these on. So that's why I like to think of a face when I do rocks and cliffs, sometimes even with the clouds. Okay, we'll put this on. We'll put this along there, and we're sort of leaving the middle of the mountain open just for a minute because we want to put a lot of light in there. let's see, what do we want? We'll take some of the pink tone and work on there. Pink coming up, red and white with a little yellow in it. When I put this on, I'll do just a little bit of feeling like you have some of the ridges on the cliff showing. Here we go on the ridges. And I'm also making use of the green that was underneath. That's a nice color when you put in cliffs. It could represent some low-lying grass, or when you do it with rocks, it looks like a little moss. Unamoss. More of the same. And we'll go ahead and put a little bit stronger light on there. And what I'm saying is we're going to put the yellow ochre and white on just a little bit earlier than it goes on the sun. This is yellow ochre and white, which is just right. Okay, there's with the brush. You can see how much is on it. Right against here. So when the trees come up, they will be right in front of this, and you get a nice little effect of this being behind the trees. Okay, before we come down lower, let's go ahead and take the fan brush, and I need to have a few trees up there. Let's take the watercolor, which is the black, blue, green. I need to give you those proportions again. I told you earlier, and I'm sure you were paying attention, but it's 1 green, 1 blue, 1/2 black, 1/2 yellow. Now this would be a soft tree. I'll take just a little bit of medium, and we'll go right up to the top here. We'll put these on. See that kind of green tone? And then we'll come across with our same brush, just a little character on those, like that. They set up there. This is a kind of a softened way of doing it, and then I'll have to mush them just a little bit. The mushing will be just pushing around a little color, and that gives some feeling of foliage underneath too, so that you have the tree setting on some land other than just pure rock. Come down a little bit. Do I need any lower? Oh, possibly one there. And I need to kind of mush a little higher, so this one's a little bit taller. It sort of makes it a little closer to us, but it sort of protects that edge too, so you just frame around that area. We'll come down to the water, and we'll come down with, let's take the flat sable brush, which I was just using. Flat sable brush, and here's my color that I was just using for the trees. Green and blue, 1/2 black, 1/2 yellow. Now this has the TMW. This is all tinted magic white down there. So I'm working into wet paint. Come under a wave. You might see where I have the big wave and I have small one. I wrote W on it. Sometimes I'll write F for foam. This time I guess I wrote W for wave. Or was that a reminder to wave at home? Once in a while you put those cues on, and you need to do those things. So that's what it was, is to wave to the people at home. Now we come across here. We have quite a bit to do there. Would it be better to take a different brush? No, I think this will go all right. I'll push this on and then we'll blend it a little bit with a blender. Come down underneath there, which we've already done. Come over here. We're forming up what will be a little bit of an eye in here. So we come a little bit behind that, and then you can see where the eye is going to be. Push down. We need to have some more darks over in there. I like to use a little medium so we don't wear out the brush. Same color, a little bit of medium. Push this around. We come over to a distant wave. And then we have, with less paint on the brush, we'll take and push this across so that you have some at the horizon, and see it's less paint as you go out there. Now let's take and brush this a little bit. I think instead of taking the bunny brush, because I feel it's just a little bit stiff, let's go ahead and take the 1-inch brush and we'll push this around. So it's more or less like a dry brush. And I'm forcing it into that tinted color too, tinted green. That's just what we need. That works very nicely. It's not hard on the brush because it's wet on wet, but there's not much paint. I wouldn't want to push the bunny brush quite this hard. See how that looks? It's probably to about a 6 right now. We have to make this a 10, don't we? Okay, we come across there, push this on. I love the way we make use of the tinted color though. And we did that in the sky as well. Okay, because we have such a pink quantity in the sky, then it'd be very appropriate to have some of that color showing in the water. So this is, should we use the same brush? Okay. This is the 1 inch. This is the red, yellow, and white. And we'll put this along right in there like the trough. That's the way, just a little bit like that. See the beauty of that compared here? This one we said there's a feeling of reflection, but we need the pink as being the reflection coming down. Okay, we'll take the same thing and push just a little bit over in here. And I suppose even down lower, this is down lower, right in there. Okay, I need to put some dark into the corner, and I'm going to use the sable brush, a little medium. This is black and orange. Almost looks like umber, doesn't it? Burnt umber. Black and orange. And a little medium, by the way. Put that on. See how quickly that covers the corner? And you come down over towards this area where we're going to have a strong gleam. We might as well go ahead and use this and push on for our rocks while we have the color on the brush. It's the same thing, the black and orange, and that's just black and orange. As I blend it into the wet paint, then of course it might soften it a little bit, but it starts out on the brush purely. One rock there, a little stronger rock, and let's see, we have this one, don't we? Oh, we have one more that's up a little higher. So it's almost a kind of a double rock right there. Okay, we'll put this, just a little shadow from the rocks down. Now let's go with our foam color. Foam color is the same thing as we used up in the sky for the clouds, the blue and white with red, but now we're going to use a little more white in it. And I'll use just a little bit of medium and the fan brush. Fill that up because I'm going to do a lot of pouncing and patting around with that. Okay, here we go. Splash this. And as we splash this, watch when we come to the mountain. Splash right up into it. Splash. Splash like that. As we come around the rocks, let's go between those two rocks slightly because we have to have a little separation there. That's better. And like this. We'll take some more of this. I'll clean the brush slightly. We'll come right back, same place. Come across here. After I put this on, I will take and smooth it out just a little bit. Gosh, you know what? The floor director thinks I'm great too. She says, "You're a 10." She held up a 10. Or is it 10 minutes? I don't know. Whatever it is, it's nice to be appreciated, isn't it? I must be going downhill because now it's a 9. Okay, we'll come over against this. Same color. Splash around there. And let's see, we'll come over on this side. We have a bit of this to do. Splash in here. See how that fan brush works though? Sometimes when it's a large area, I'll use a full brush, but very much the corner of the brush as you're making the character at the lower edges and even at the tops of these. Come a little across there, little teeny small wave back there, but we treat you with respect. Okay, we have that splashed up. I do feel on the big wave that we better wipe a little bit away so that when we put the highlight on, it'll have more impact. These other places, I'll put less light, so it doesn't matter if you have some thick gray foam. Okay, I need to put on some color at the horizon. I'm going to put just a little bit of the orange color on. This is orange, and I already have the black and orange, but so I put a little orange and just touch a little bit of that black and orange into it. This will come right along here. Push this down very little bit. Ooh, that's a nice glow, and we don't even have the sun that's causing it yet. We'll put some over in here. See, this just gives a little path of that color. This is non-toxic paint. It sure helps, doesn't it, to have when you can use a little finger on it. Okay, like that. And right at the shore, we'll come down with the same color and really push that on. I get feeling kind of guilty. I feel some of you at home are saying, "Hey, don't do that, Buck. Don't use the brush." Okay, we'll use the brush. I listen to you. Spread this around. push it around like that. This is a little bit better on the paint as well as better on the finger. Push that around. We'll push this around. Okay, let's come next with light on the rocks. Light on the rocks, you might find it a little better to wipe slightly where you're going to put the new color. The new color will be the orange and black. Just a little bit of wiping where that's going to go. Okay, here's the orangish tone. This we had earlier, orange and black, but this has a little white with it. Put that on. This represents sort of a flat rock out there. And a little bit over here. Just slightly pull it up a little bit. Let's take just some of this. Oh, we already have it there, so we don't need any more there. Okay, we need to do several other things. We need to put some foam patterns on. I'll take the Twiggy brush, and I'm going to reach over and get a good chunk of medium. This is my, what color am I going to use? I'm going to use some of this lighter foam. I changed my mind right there. This is the same as the foam color that we have on the big foam. So we put some of these on. You're going to find that we'll do some with these, and then we'll have the lighter ones. See how these all flow gently towards the horizon? That helps. It's nice to be appreciated, isn't it? You may not be considered a number 10, but you're right up close. And I think when you really think about it, it's not what others think you are, it's what you think you are. That's really important. I'll never forget in a student teaching class at college, we went out there and we did our student teaching, and I came back and they said to grade yourself. Well, I'd been with this teacher and I heard him tell somebody else, Paulson's a jewel. And my opinion was jewels are a 10. So they said, put down your own grade, and I put down an A. And the teacher said, an A? Who do you think you are? And I know who I think I am. I'm Buck. I'm a 10. But I did do a good job. And if you think you do a good job, you don't have to be bragging about it, but you don't have to hide in the sand either. Okay, now these will continue going out. I'll do just a few more of these because I want to show you some of the lighter ones. See, these would go all the way out. And you really have a path as you go along this way. Let's take a little bit of the yellow, ochre, and white, and we'll go with the same thing. And when I say the same thing, we put first a little larger shape that's coming in on the shore right there. Isn't that pretty? That's a strong change, isn't it? And that's what's dramatic and fun to do and show you, because there's a definite change when you put the light on. This is almost like when you come in the room. There's all of a sudden a change when you come in the room because you got that good attitude, and people can feel your attitude. They really can. Okay, this will continue to go out towards the horizon. That becomes your path as you go around there. Okay, we'll need to leave that, even though there would be more to do. And we're going to take some yellow, ochre, and white. Fan brush. Yellow, ochre, and white. And come up and splash on to the wave. Splash on to the next layer. And we'll splash around in some of the others. As we do the others, a little bit over here, so you're kind of near a rock. And then what do we have? Here we already have it. We'll put a little bit in here, some there. You could even use a smaller brush on this, but I feel very comfortable doing that. A little bit in the eye itself. Just a little stronger, lighter. I'm going to run down. I picked up the mop brush. You didn't have to see me pick it up, but this is a mop brush, which is very good for just soft patting. Before I blend that, why don't we go up to the sky? Let's take the same brush. Let's see, this is yellow, ochre, and white, and we'll push this around right in there. Ooh, isn't that pretty? See, now you're getting something that shows why this is light. Blend that around. Look at you using you're not a bunny brush, but you're doing the bunny brush's job. Oops, there's a little hair there. I think you're going to come off after the show. Okay, we need to take the knife, same color, coming down on the horizon. Horizon. I went fast, sorry about that. Here we are. Come right down there. Come right down there. Come all the way through. Come down, touch there, come down, right on the shore. Okay, we need to blend that a little bit. And we'll take a bunny brush. Okay. The bunny brush, we'll use a corner of it. I better clean it. You are now clean. Splash around like that. Splash there. Touch into the rocks a little bit so they're part of it. Oof, that's great. Brush that back and forth. Brush this back and forth. Blend just a little bit. We're kind of rushing a little bit here. You take a little more time when you do this. If you're going to make a tin out of it, you have to be a little more careful than that, right? Blend, blend. Now I need to go kind of fast-like because we're going to do a couple trees. Let's take some terps. This is black and green. This will be against the cliff. Look at these. We got two of these. Boom, 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 boom. That one goes a little higher. This one not as high. We'll take the same juice. I'm using juice instead of medium just to make it flow more. What kind of juice? The cleaner. See how that dances back and forth? Ooh, I like that. Comes right down on the rock. Next one, same thing. And the next one, it touches into its neighbor. It's when it goes out to the left that you want it to have a little more character. I need to push you just a little further this way to kind of protect that area. Okay, we have just a little bit of this greenish tone, which is black and green, but we've added yellow and white. And we come right along here. See, that one's being lit more than the other one. Now, of course, it'd be nice if we had just a little more time, but we really don't. We need to take just a little foam. I'll rush this up. Foam color coming off the rock. Just coming off like this. You know how to double a value in a painting? Put it in a great home. That'll double a painting. How do you make a great home? Be the best you can.